This is our 60-minute Vinyasa class, Saturday morning. Thank you all for coming here. How's everybody doing today? Okay. It's a gorgeous morning. It's going to be hot, but it's beautiful now, particularly in the shade. It feels really nice. Take a few moments just to become present. You know, let your eyes close down. Just begin to breathe. Notice the breath flowing in and out. You start to let the past week sort of wash off of you. Start to let it go, so that you can begin to start fresh with your yoga practice this morning. Not a lot of attachment to whatever may have happened in the past. Just let all that start to go. Let's have a couple more breaths. Let the breath become progressively deeper. Until you eventually feel as unmoored to anything as you can. And when you're ready, bring your hands to your knees, palms facing down. Sit up nice and tall with the chin level. Hug the shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale, pull the shoulders back and down, releasing tension in the back as you do that. Do that again. Inhale the shoulders up, and then back and down. And one more time. Up and back. And a big exhale. Let it go. Now drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. We'll just work on the neck a little bit. Stretch it out a bit more. Make sure your gaze is straight forward, so try not to look down or up. And then relax the left shoulder a bit. And now bring the chin to the chest. And then over to the other side, left ear to left shoulder. Relax that right shoulder. Now lift the chin up high, looking up towards the sky or the ceiling. And then right ear to right shoulder. And chin to chest. We're just going to let the head kind of roll around at the top of the shoulders. And go around maybe one more time. See if you can start to work out those kinks if you feel them in the neck. And then go back the other direction. We'll go around about 3 times the other way as well. And one more. And then finish with the chin high. Then lift the chin a little bit more and open your mouth really wide. Big stretch in the jaw to begin. And exhale and release the jaw. And do that again. Inhale. Open the mouth really wide. And release. Bring the chin back so it's level. Reach both arms up and overhead, interlace the fingers, invert the palms, stretch the palms up towards the sky, press down on the sitting bones. I really like this practice on the grass because the grass is super forgiving. I can almost feel my sitting bones pressing down into the earth. Stretch up even higher and then lift your chin up, look towards the hands, and then level the chin. Cactus the elbows, palms face forward. Bring your elbows up so they're about level with your shoulders, and then pull the elbows back just a little bit, opening up the chest. On an inhale, lift your chin. And then exhale, reach the arms up, and exhale the hands down, bend the elbows, bring chin to chest, round the spine, bring the forehead down until you feel a little stretch in the back, and then inhale, rise back up. Let the arms float back up and overhead. Cactus the elbow. Second time, lift the chin high. Press the chest up towards the sky. And level the chin. Reach the hands back up. And exhale the hands down. Bend the elbows. Bring chin to chest and around the spine again. We'll do that one more time. Inhale up. Cactus the elbows. Pull the elbows back, remember, and then lift the chin, lift the chest. And then reach back up. Last time here, hands down, bend the elbows. Draw the navel in this time as you bring your forehead down. Maybe you can touch your forehead all the way to the grass in front of you or your mat or the floor. Inhale and rise back up. And bring the arms back high. And then exhale the hands down. Do that again. I'll turn and face you guys for a while. Inhale up. Exhale down. Remember, big breath, big movement. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale up. Big deep breath. Exhale the right hand down. Reach up and over with the left hand, stretching the left side body. On an inhale, rise. Again, the core engages as you come up and bring the left hand down. Reach the right hand up and over. Let's do that twice more on each side. I thought it would be a 4-leaf clover on my mat. It wasn't. Inhale up. Left hand down. Always on the lookout for them. Not sure why. Let's do it 2 more times. This is feeling really good to me now, so I'll impose that on you. One more time up. And over. And last one. And rise. Reach back up. And now bring the arms behind you. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Now straighten your elbows, and if you can, press the palms together so the skin of the palms is touching. And then press the knuckles towards the back of the mat with the intention of drawing the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Do that again. Press the knuckles back. Almost have the sensation the shoulder blades are touching behind you. Now hinge at the hips and fold forward. Kind of reach with your chin a little bit, not too much. Then the knuckles reach up and overhead. Forehead comes down towards the mat. On an inhale, slowly rise. You'll feel the core engage as you come up. And then release the hands up and then out to a T. Let's take a twist to the right. Bring the left hand to the right knee. Sit up nice and tall as you draw the navel in on the inhale. And then exhale into the twist, pulling the navel back and to the right, twisting. Do that one more time. Deep breath in. Draw the navel in and then back and to the right as you twist. Kind of relaxing a little bit, letting go instead of forcing the twist. And then back to center. Let's flow right over to the other side. Right hand to left knee. Left hand is down behind. Take a deep breath in. Draw the navel in again as you breathe, as you inhale. And then as you exhale, pull the navel, just nudge it over to the left. And one more time, breathing in, drawing the navel in, and then exhale, relaxing into the twist. And then let it go. Bring it all back to center. Let's roll over the knees and find table pose. Let's begin by pressing the hips to the right. Remember to press both hands into the mat as you do that. And then let the hips flow over to the left, and then to the right, and to the left. One more time on each side, over to the right, and to the left. And then hips come back to center. Walk the hands forward a few inches, and then glide the hips forward and down. We're going to come into a back bend. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Press the hands into the mat so the elbows are straight. And now press your chest forward. Draw the shoulder blades a little bit together on the back. Now, come out by drawing the navel up towards the sky. Press the hands into the mat and feel your tailbone lengthening, reaching towards the heels. Feel that stretch in the shoulders and the armpits. Now draw the navel up to come out of the pose. So we're drawing the navel up to come out of the pose in each of the poses. Our knees down, upward facing dog here. And then pressing back towards that child's pose with the knees not moving. And feel that stretch along the whole back body, all the way from the tailbone through the fingertips. And then glide it forward. And press it back. And let's do that twice more. Gliding forward. Coming maybe into a little bit deeper back bend. If you want to lift your chin, feel free to do that. And then press back towards child's pose. And then come back to table pose and tuck your toes and come up into downward facing dog, pressing the heels down towards the mat. Pause there for a few moments. And go ahead and pedal it out if that feels good for you. Straighten one leg and then the other. Remember to keep pressing both hands into the mat so that you're creating lots and lots of length in the spine, or rather allowing lots of length in the spine. Now come to stillness. Spread your fingers a little bit wider on the mat so you're pressing the palms into the mat as well as the pads of the fingers. On an inhale, reach your right leg up and then bring it back down. Inhale the left leg up. Good job, bring it down. Inhale, right leg high. Three-legged dog now. Open the hips to the right, bending the right knee, keeping both hands pressing deeply into the mat. And bring the right foot down, leveling the hips. Reach the left leg up. Three-legged dog, second side. Opening the hips to the left. Remember to bend that left knee and think about lifting the left knee up and back. That's it. Level the hips off now. And step the left foot all the way forward so it comes between the hands. Bring the right knee to the mat and reach the arms up and overhead, pressing into that left foot, into a low crescent lunge. Press that left knee forward a little bit more. Reach up through the wrists, stretching up. Now bring the hands down on either side of the left foot. Tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat. Press back on the right heel. And step the left foot back to plank pose. Take a breath in plank. And then bring your knees to the mat. Chest and chin are going to follow. And let's find cobra pose. Inchworm your way into cobra pose, lifting the heart up off the mat. Remember, either a low, a medium, or a high cobra. Just do it intentionally. Elbows tucked in. Try not to flare the elbows out. Take a deep breath, and then exhale. Come all the way down. Tuck your toes and push to plank. And then let your hips rise into downward facing dog. Stretch it out again. On an inhale, left leg rises. Keep the left leg straight as you press the hands into the mat. Maybe straighten the right leg a little bit. And bring the left foot down. Reach the right foot up again. Stretch it up. Point the toes this time on the right foot. Press that right hand into the mat particularly. And then bring the right foot down. Inhale the right leg high, second time. And bring it down. And left leg high. Lift it up, point the toes on the left foot, press the left hand into the mat, and bring the left foot down. Inhale, right leg high. Step it forward so it comes between the hands. Bring the left knee to the mat, reach the arms up and overhead. We come to a low crescent lunge, second side. You notice we did left first and then right, so changing it up. Reach up through the wrists. Press the right knee forward a little bit. You starting to feel that in the top of the left thigh? Yeah, those are the hip flexor muscles. Too much sitting around. Press that right knee forward even a little bit more, deepening the sensation. Beautiful. Bring the hands down on either side of the right foot now. Tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat. Press back on the left heel. Press back pretty vigorously on that left heel. So you're starting to feel a big stretch on the back of that left leg, particularly the calf muscles. And now step your left foot forward, so we're bringing the left foot between the hands. Simon says you're out. Bring the arms out to a T. The weight comes into the front of the feet. Let the heels float as you rise. Nice and slow. The spine stays long. I'm feeling that in my glutes and my hamstrings. Eventually the arms reach high. And exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. On an inhale, reach up and back. The weight comes into the front of the feet again. The knees can bend a little bit. And now fold all the way forward. And then come to a half lift. Bring the hands to the top of the shins. Press the palms into the shins, lengthening the spine. And on the exhale, release the hands all the way down to the mat. And step your right foot back. And the left foot's going to follow it into plank pose. Pause for a moment in plank. And then flow through Vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. Take a breath or two in upward dog. And then when you're ready, let your hips float up into downward facing dog. From there, press back. Press the heels down towards the mat, rather. And then bend the knees and take a hop. Feet end up eventually between the hands. You can walk if you want to. Let your head drop down. Let the head get really heavy here. See if you can bring the weight into the front of the feet just a little bit more. And now slowly rise back up. Reverse swan dive as you come. And arms float high. Palms together and to heart center. Good job, everybody. Let's do that again. Inhale up and back. Lift the chin up. Press the chest towards the sky. Knees can bend a bit. And remember to bring the weight into the front of the feet. A lot of things to do. Now fold all the way forward. Come to a half lift again. Hands to the top of the shins. And exhale, release the hands down. Step or jump back this time to plank pose. Take a breath in plank just to establish the pose and your body in the pose. One more breath. Beautiful. Now flow through Vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, upward facing dog. And when you're ready, release to downward facing dog. Now bend the knees, take a hop again, or walk, whatever feels good. Good hopping. Now hands behind you, interlace the fingers behind the back, straighten the elbows as you press the skin of the palms together, drawing the shoulder blades deeply together. The weight is still in the front of the feet. Keep it there as you rise, nice and slow, like somebody's pulling your hands up towards the sky as you rise. Now once you're up, pause and press the knuckles down towards the heels. Draw the navel in. Gaze is straight forward. Nice level gaze. Release the hands and reach them high. And then to heart center. Take a breath. How's everybody doing? Good. Reach back up. Arms to a T. Feet about hip width, maybe a little bit more than hip width apart, but not too wide. We're going to do a standing twist. Come down halfway, and then bend your right knee quite a bit. Bring the right hand down so it's right below your face, not back towards the feet, at least a foot forward. Then reach the left hand high. Keep the spine long. Try not to let your head drop down, so keep the neck a natural extension of the spine. Reach the top of the head forward. Press your tailbone back. Maybe lift that left hip up a little bit higher if you can. One more breath. And other side. Left knee bends. The right leg straightens as you press the left palm into the mat. Reach the right hand high. Think about keeping the spine nice and long. And one more time on each side. Bring the right hand down. The left hand reaches high. Remember to bend the right knee quite a bit here. So your left hip is way up above the right hip. The hips are asymmetrical. And the last one. Left hand down. A right hand reaching high. And then bring the right hand down. Now bend the knees and let's rise to chair pose. Weight comes back into the heels. You can reach out of the shoulders, draw the navel in a little bit. Straighten the legs now. And a beautiful swan dive into a forward fold. And then a half lift. And eventually bring your hands all the way down to the mat. From there, keep your right foot forward, left foot steps back in runner's lunge. Leave the left hand on the mat and reach the right hand high into a twist. And then bring the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. Untuck the toes and bring the left knee to the mat. And then bring the elbows to the mat if you can. This is lizard pose. Now walk back up onto the hands. Keep the hands inside the right foot. Tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat. And then reach the left hand up and overhead. Right hand stays on the mat. We come into a revolved lunge twist. Press back on that left heel. Left leg is nice and straight. Now bring the left hand down. Move the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Left knee comes rise to a low crescent lunge. Second time on this side, right foot's forward. Press that right knee forward a little bit more. Now the arms can come out to a T. We're going to take a twist to the right, palms face to the right. You're being very independent today, Carmen, which is good. Do your own thing. Reach the hands apart from one another, palms still facing to the right. One more breath, and then back to center. Reach the arms high and then bring them down on either side of the right foot. Tuck the toes and bring the left knee off the mat. Step the right foot back now into plank pose and take 3 breaths in plank. Big, deep, long breaths. 2 more. Feeling the strength in your core. And 1 more deep breath. After the exhale, flow through Vinyasa into upward facing dog. You can pause there for a moment. We're in no rush. And then when you're ready, let the hips rise into downward facing dog and stretch it out. Now on the inhale, reach the left leg up and then step it forward into runner's lunge. So the left foot comes between the hands. Leave the right hand on the mat and reach the left hand high. Lunge twist. Keep that left knee bent and pressing forward. Now bring the left hand down inside the left foot and come down to the elbows. You can untuck the toes and bring the right knee to the mat into lizard pose. By the way, if you want to keep the toes on the right foot tucked and that right knee off the mat, you can do that too. That's a deeper stretch. Now tuck the toes and bring the right knee off the mat if it's not already, and then walk back up onto the hands. Left hand stays on the mat. This time, right hand reaches high. We come into a revolved lunge twist. Right hand comes down to the mat. Left hand moves to the outside of the left foot. Step the left foot back into plank pose. And again, 3 beautiful deep breaths in plank pose. Stay with it. And 1 more. And flow through Vinyasa now. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, just like we've been doing before, into downward facing dog. And then bend your knees and take a nice hop so the feet end up between the hands. Bend the knees and rise to chair pose. Now bring the weight very distinctly back into the heels in chair pose. And then let your arms just come down and back and tip forward onto the toes. Whoa! And then reach the arms back up. Press the weight into the heels. And do that again. Tip forward, hands come down. And into the heels, arms reach up. Let's do it twice more. Bringing it down. Come up on the toes. Tip forward a little bit more. And then reach it back up. Chair pose. Let's do 1 more time. Down. Up on the toes even higher. And then press the heels down. Arms reach back up. Chair pose. Take a breath. Straighten the legs. Bring the hands to heart center. You can let your eyes close down if you like. Just a couple of breaths here. Whew. Try and let your breath return to whatever would be a normal rhythm for you. And eyes can open. Let's reach the arms back up and overhead. Come back to chair pose. From here, bring the hands to heart center. And then bend the knees a little bit more, press your tailbone back, and then find a chair twist. The left elbow comes to the right knee, the right elbow reaches high. Try and keep the spine nice and long and work on stacking the right shoulder over the left shoulder. And it may also help to bring your right elbow over the palms. Flow back to center and then over to the other side. The right elbow comes to the left knee. And again, notice the alignment here. And bring it all back to center. And reach the arms back up and overhead. And bend the knees, chair pose. We haven't gotten out of chair yet. Now straighten. And a beautiful swan dive. Imagine you're jumping off a cliff, half lift. Exhale, bring the hands down. Right foot stays forward, left foot steps back. Runner's lunge. Left hand stays on the mat, right hand reaches high, lunge twist. Scoot the left hand over so it's about 4 inches or so from the foot. And then reach the right hand a little bit higher. That's it. Can you press your right knee forward just a little bit more? Beautiful, beautiful adjustments, everybody. Now bring the right hand down inside the right foot. Left hand reaches high. This is our revolved lunge twist. Now spin the left heel to the mat and rise to warrior two. Take a breath and settle into the pose. And one more. Now extended side angle pose. Bring the elbow to the knee. And reach with the left hand. Remember to anchor into the pinky toe of the left foot here and stretch out the left side body even a little bit more. Maybe bend that right knee just a bit more, pressing it forward. Now rise to reverse warrior pose. The right knee stays bent. Left hand comes down to the back of the leg. Right hand reaches up and over. Can you press that right knee forward just a little bit more? And a second extended side angle pose in this series, reaching up through the left hand, stretching out that left shoulder. And reverse warrior second time. Let's go for it one more time. Extended side angle is the third one. And reverse warrior pose. Now straighten the right leg, pressing into that right foot, and then reach up and back with the right hand. Draw your navel in towards the spine, and then the arms come out to a T. Press into the back foot, reach the right hand forward, bring it down. Triangle pose. You can support that right hand on the mat or the ankle, the shin, the knee, wherever you want. Or you can let that right arm dangle if that feels good. One more breath. Now right knee bends, rise back to warrior two, take a breath. And settle into the pose. Maybe rebend that right knee a little bit more, coming close to a 90-degree angle with that right knee. Now straighten the right leg, pivot on the right heel, toes on the right foot become parallel, or the whole foot, I guess, becomes parallel to the left foot. Come to a wide-legged stance, reaching the hands out. Now bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers behind the back, press the knuckles down, draw the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in, then as you exhale, hinge at the hips, come down halfway only, press into the pinky toes, and then slowly come back up. Let's do that twice more. Halfway down, and then slowly come back up. And one more time. Halfway down. Lengthen the spine now. Reach your head forward. Try not to bring the chin towards the chest, and then slowly rise back up. Now arms come out to a T, and pivot on the right heel, back to warrior two, towards the front of the mat. Cartwheel the hands down on either side of the right foot, and come up onto the ball of the left foot. We've come back to runner's lunge. Step the right foot back to plank pose. Take 3 deep breaths again in plank pose. That seems to be the theme of this class, 3 deep breaths in plank. And one more. You guys are doing awesome. Flow through Vinyasa now. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Again, it's your choice. Upward dog. And when you're ready, let the hips float into downward facing dog. On an inhale, let the left leg rise. Lift it up nice and high. Remember to press the right heel down. So this is sort of a split that we're doing, notice. We're trying to bring the legs in opposition to one another. And then step your left foot all the way forward, bringing it between the hands. Right hand on the mat, left hand reaches high, lunge twist. I think this is our third one on this side, although I could be off. See if you can stretch that left hand up a little bit more and then relax the fingers, reach up through the wrist instead. And then bring the left hand down inside that left foot. Press that left palm into the mat and release the right hand up. Left knee is bent, pressing forward. Now, spin the right heel to the mat. Keep the left knee bent and rise to Warrior Two. Settle into the pose. Bend the left knee a little bit more, pressing the knee forward towards, I guess we're sort of in a circle, so kind of towards the center of the circle. And extended side angle pose. Elbow comes to knee. Reach through that right hand, really stretch it out. You feel the length you're creating on the side body. Keep the left knee bent and rise, reverse warrior. Good job. If you straighten that left knee, rebend it. And then extended side angle, second time on this side. And rise, reverse warrior. Left knee stays bent as you come up. And one more time, extended side angle pose. And last reverse warrior pose. Now make an effort, to bend that left knee just a little bit more before we straighten the left leg, coming to reverse triangle pose. Press into the left foot now to help you reach, really stretching out of that left side. Now the arms come out to a T, palms face down, ground into both feet. Now press into the back foot as you reach the left hand forward, coming towards triangle pose. And the left hand comes down, right hand reaches high. Come back that way. There you go, opening up. Beautiful. Beautiful adjustment. One more breath. Now left knee bends, rise to Warrior Two and settle into the pose. See if you can check in with your hips and make sure the hips are parallel more or less to the long edge of the mat. There you go. So we're opening up, particularly that left hip. You can probably feel it. Yeah. Now straighten the left leg. Pivot on the left heel so the toes on the left foot point the same direction as the toes on the right foot. Now arms come out to a T with the palms facing down. Anchor into the pinky toes of both feet. Draw your navel in. Take a deep breath. Keep drawing the navel in and hinge at the hips. Come down halfway only. Now bring the weight into the front of the feet, not in the heels. So try not to sit into your heels. Bring your right hand down. Press it into the grass or the floor. Reach the left hand high, coming into a wide-legged twist. Try and relax the hips a little bit. When you do that, you may notice your left hip rising up a little bit more and the right hip dropping down. And over to the other side. Left hand comes down and right hand reaches high. Wide-legged twist, second side. Can you open up the right side of your heart space a little bit more? That's it. So you're deepening the sensation of that spinal twist. And right hand down, left hand up. This is the second one on this side. And a last one. Left hand down, right hand high. And bring the right hand down so it meets the left hand. Bring the arms back out to a T. And now for the fun part, sweep the hands forward so the biceps are on either side of the ears. Keep the spine long, press in the pinky toes, come all the way up. And release the hands to heart center. Take a breath. Pivot on that left heel, bend the left knee, find warrior two back towards the front of the mat. Settle into the pose. Good job. Bring the hands down on either side of the left foot. Step the left foot back to plank pose. 3 breaths again in plank. One more. And then flow through Vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga into upward facing dog. A breath or two here. And when it's time, downward facing dog. 3 breaths now in downward dog. I'd like you to press your hands into the mat even a little bit more, spreading the fingers nice and wide. So you're kind of spreading out the pressure on the hands, engaging the palms as well as the pads of the fingers. And now bend the knees and take our last hop forward so the feet end up between the hands. Bend the knees, rise to chair pose. This can be our last time in chair. And straighten the legs. Look up, bring the palms together, and then exhale, level the gaze as the hands come back to heart center. How's everybody doing? Okay? All right. The sun's really hot, huh? It's cool in the shade, so it's sort of weird because when I step over here into the shade, it's nice and cool. It feels like about 65, and over there it feels like about 90 in the sun. You release the hands back down with the palms facing forward. Chest proud. Bring the shoulder blades a little bit together. Draw the navel in again. Take a breath. Now leave your right foot forward, a 3/4 step back with the left foot into warrior one. Arms reach up and overhead. Go ahead and square your hips to the front of the mat. And if you want, you can always bring your hands down to help, pulling the left hip forward and the right hip back until the hips and the shoulders come to a position where they're square to the front of the mat. Now bring the hands behind you, interlace your fingers. Straighten the elbows, drawing the shoulder blades together. If you've dropped your gaze or lifted it, bring it back so it's level. Now, humble warrior. Bring the right shoulder down to the right knee. Let your head drop down, and the knuckles can reach up and overhead, stretching out the shoulders again really nicely. Press into the right foot. Keep the right knee bent as you come up. Once you're up, release the hands. Now bring the arms out to a T, palms facing down. We're going to transition to warrior three here. To do that, we're going to bring the weight into the right foot. And once the weight comes all the way into the right foot, the left foot's just going to float up. And we're going to come to the airplane variation of warrior three. If you want some other variation, feel free to do that instead. Yeah, just feel the weight transition into the foot so it's almost effortless lifting that left foot up. Now arms out to a T if they're not there already. And we're going to move now into half moon pose. Right hand comes down, left hand reaches up. Awesome work, everybody. Left hand comes down. If you're on a block, come off the block. Standing splits. Let your elbows bend here so your shoulders come down and your head gets heavy. You'll notice your forehead coming closer to the shin of that standing leg. Now release the left foot back to the right foot. So we're in a standing forward fold. Take opposite elbows now and press the elbows down towards the big toes. Remember to bring your weight into the front of the feet. Tendency here is to sit back on the heels. We're going to see if we can counteract that tendency by mindfully bringing the weight forward so the hips come over the heels. Maybe even a little bit more forward if you can. Release the arms out to a T. Reverse swan dive as you rise, keeping the weight in the front of the feet. Arms float high. And then exhale, release the hands all the way down. Palms face forward. Take a breath. Pull the shoulder blades back a little bit. And then hands to heart center. And step back with the right foot, 3/4 step, just like we did on the other side. And left knee bends. Arms reach up and overhead. We've come to warrior one. Now bring the hands behind. We're going to interlace the fingers in the awkward way this time, using the non-dominant grip, and re-square your shoulders towards the front of the mat. Keep the left knee bent. It helps, I think, to press both feet into the mat and press the feet apart from one another, providing stability in the pose. Keep that as you hinge at the hips and bring the left shoulder down to the left knee, reaching the arms high. Let your head drop down. Let the neck muscles release completely. And left knee stays bent as you slowly rise. Once you're up, release the hands, reach them high, and then out to a T. We do the same thing we did on the other side. Slowly transition the weight into the left foot, and then that right foot will just start to float. So notice that weight transition. Beautiful job. Into warrior three, airplane variation. You can keep reaching the hands apart from one another. Think about pressing your right foot back and reaching the head forward, hands reaching apart from one another. Now half moon pose. Left hand comes down, right hand reaches high. That left hand is a little bit more than a foot for most of us in front of the left foot. Yeah, that'll help you keep the spine nice and long, allow you to open up, stacking the right hip over the left hip. Remember to keep the weight evenly distributed in that down foot, and the foot that's on the mat. Otherwise, you'll spin on the heel or the ball of the foot. Beautiful job. Right hand comes down into standing splits. Here, remember to bend the elbows. Let that right foot lift up as high as it wants to. The left knee can bend. Don't be afraid to bend the left knee. And just notice your forehead coming a little bit closer to the shin on that left leg. Release the right foot down into standing forward fold. And take opposite elbows again. Press the elbows down towards the big toes. Do me a favor now and bend your knees a little more. Bend your knees however much you need to so that your upper body can rest on your thighs. And for some, that may mean you bend the knees quite a bit. Don't worry about that. What we're trying to do here is lengthen the upper body and not necessarily stretch out the hamstrings or the glutes. Now press the elbows down a little bit more, lengthening just a bit more. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, straighten your legs to the extent you can, and then release the arms. Reverse swan dive and rise up. The arms float high, and the hands exhale to heart center. Whew. Take a breath. All right, let's come down to a seat. The other thing that happens that's interesting when you're practicing yoga in the sun is the mats can get really hot. So particularly the dark colored ones. I think maybe the cork colored ones not so much. Reach the arms up and overhead. Press the heels away. Toes point straight up. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. And then inhale and rise back up. The core engages. Do that a second time. Reaching forward and inhale and rising back up. And one more time. Try and keep the biceps on either side of the ears, not rounding it very much. And then release the hands down. Bend the left knee, sole the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, so the big toe on the left foot's kind of pointing towards the inside of the knee. Press that left knee down to the extent you can. Now, square your shoulders to the extended right leg. Press through the right heel again. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. Press into the back of the right heel and rise back up. And we're going to do that twice more. Reaching forward, pressing into the heel to help you rise. And one more time. And then rise all the way back up. Arms come out to a T. We're going to take a twist to the left now and plant the left hand right behind your back. Press into the left knee and the right heel and lift your hips. Let your head drop down as you reach with the right hand. You can open up the right side of your heart towards the sky if that feels good, letting the head drop down even more. Stretch it out just one more time. And then with control, bring it all back down till the sitting bones land on the mat. Then square your shoulders, the extended leg, hinge at the hips, and fold forward. Press into the back of the right heel and rise, and we'll do that twice more. Reaching forward, rising, and one more time. Stretch it forward, and rise all the way back up. You release the hands and bring them down. Let's go over to the other side. Sole the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Press through the left heel. Square the shoulders to the extended left leg. Hinge at the hips and fold forward. Press into the back of the left heel as you rise. And again. As you come up, feel the abdominal muscles particularly. And one more time, reaching. Now keep your biceps on either side of the ears and rise. Now arms come out to a T. Let's take a twist to the right side. Plant the right hand behind you. Press into the right knee and the left heel and lift it up. Now open up the left side of the heart towards the sky. Maybe press the hips a little higher. Can you let your head drop down just a bit more? Breathe. Now with control, bring it all back down. And then square the shoulders to the extended leg, hinge at the hips, and fold forward. Inhale as you rise, and exhale and bring it down. Inhale and rise. Exhale down. And one more time. Inhale up, and then release the hands. Bring them all the way down, and bring both legs out again. Let's bend the knees and roll all the way down to the back. And once you're on your back, let's find happy baby pose. Now, one of the fun things that happens with happy baby pose on the grass is that the earth will conform to your body a little bit. So notice that sensation of your tailbone pressing down into the earth, maybe your sacrum pressing down as well. Now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, relax the back of the shoulders. Let the back of the shoulders soften down towards the earth. Do that one more time. Deep breath in. And release the shoulders down. Now release the hands from the feet, and let's find legs up the wall pose. Bring the hands down by your side with the palms facing down, and feel that connection to the earth with your palms. Through your mat. Feel deeply grounded. Now plow pose if you want to. Toes coming up and overhead, touching down on the space behind you, either the grass or the floor, depending on whether you're inside or outside. Those in plow, bring your hands to your low back. And then point your fingers straight up. So the fingers are pointing towards the sky. And now pull your elbows a little bit closer together. And on an inhale, keep the legs straight and lift the feet up over the hips more or less. That'll bring you to shoulder stand. If you bring your feet directly over your hips, we'll call that a full shoulder stand. You may need to lift your hips up a little bit higher, maybe draw the shoulder blades together and the elbows together to get there. Or if you want a half or three-quarter shoulder stand, feel free to do that instead. Or some of you have done, remain in legs up the wall pose. If you got where you are from plow, go back to plow now. And then everyone, let's meet back in legs up the wall pose. Now point your toes, stretch the toes towards the sky, press down on the sitting bone, on the tailbone, so the tailbone's pressing down towards the mat. Keeping the legs long, reach your fingers up towards the big toes. So index fingers reaching towards big toes. And on an inhale, lift your shoulders and head off the mat, lifting the fingers closer to the toes. Now stay where you are and see if you can lift your tailbone up off the mat, curling the tailbone up towards the sky as well. Now keep reaching up. And release the shoulders, release the tailbone, bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Walk your feet back until you can brush your heels with your fingertips. And let's do a bridge pose. Press the feet into the mat and lift the hips. As always, if you prefer wheel pose here, go ahead and do that instead. Notice the tendency of the knees to want to move apart in bridge pose. Just invite them back so they remain about hip width apart. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, see if you can press your hips up just a little bit higher, maybe half an inch or an inch. Remain in the pose one more breath. And release it. Bring the tailbone down, hug the knees into your chest. And if it feels good, you can bring the forehead towards the knees and let the spine round. Release the head to the mat. Guess what? It's time for Shavasana. So those of you in the sun, if you don't want to be in the sun for Shavasana, now would be a wonderful time to relocate your mat to the shade. And once you have found a spot for your mat that feels comfortable, let your eyes close down and start to become aware of your breath. We've done that several times during this practice, so it isn't anything new. But see if you can imagine your breath, feeling the breath as though you have never experienced it before. So treat it as something completely new to you. And once you do that, begin to explore the qualities of the breath. What does it feel like to breathe in and breathe out? Is the breath warm or cool, or does it differ from moment to moment? How does the breath make me feel in my body? Is it different when I breathe in from when I breathe out? Notice everything you can about the breath. Now start to feel yourself softening into your mat even a little bit more. Can you allow yourself to let go enough that you feel enveloped by the earth? Almost as though the earth is swallowing you up, holding you tightly. Feeling the connection to the earth. Begin now to cultivate an awareness of your heartbeat. And when we think about heartbeat, we often go first to the chest, trying to feel the heart in the chest. And you may feel your heartbeat there. But be open to the fact that you may feel your heartbeat elsewhere in your body. You may feel it in the mouth. You may feel it in the toes, the fingers, the nasal passages. I've even felt the heartbeat in my eyelids. So find your heartbeat, and then let your focus, your awareness, rest there, just for a few moments. Stay with the heartbeat. Notice the rhythm of the beating heart. Notice the speed, how quickly or slowly is the heart beating. Now, can you invite your heart to slow down a little bit? You can actually notice 1 or 2 beats per minute difference. Notice the slowing of the heartbeat. Now release your awareness from your heartbeat and become aware of your whole body resting on your mat. You can let movement return to your fingers now and your toes if that feels good. And the ankles and wrists. Then when you're ready, reach your arms up and overhead so the back of the hands rest on the grass or the floor behind you. Stretch the fingertips behind you. Point your toes and stretch the toes forward with the intention of creating lots of length in the body. Now draw a deep breath in and fill the whole body with breath, all the way from the tips of the toes to the tips of the fingers. Breathe in really deeply and keep breathing in as long as you can. And then when you're ready, blow it all out. Big exhale. Let it go. Do that again, a deep breath in, even deeper this time. And then let it all go even more. Blow it all out. Beautiful. Bend your knees and roll to your side. We'll pause for just a moment on our side. And when you're ready, slowly come to a seat. Once you're seated, the eyes can remain closed down if you like. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you so much for being here today. Join me, if you like, in offering loving kindness. May you be happy and well, and may you be safe. May you be peaceful, and may you be at ease. Namaste.